Hello, this is ELB and let's get back to work. Last time we smoothed out the transitions between the different areas of the map. We also fixed up our code a little bit, as well as got the slowdown in the mud, as well as when picking up rocks working. So, what are we going to do next then? I think it would be fun to try prototyping a melee weapon. At least, very possibly sloppily doing it. I'm expecting a phone call right now, so at some point this might be cut short. I don't know when. I was expecting the phone call a while ago, in fact, which, if I wasn't, then I would have started this video sooner. In any case, let's get going. So we're going to start with the right trigger. Now, let's see, we got this projectile arrow, right? So what we're going to do is this. We're going to do it almost exactly the same as the arrow. Instead, we will have the let's go with sword come out and, stick on the player. So, let's start by making, oh, wrong one. Let's start by making a simple sword. So normally this would be 16 by 16, right? So what I'm going to do instead is have it be at a width of 32 and a height of 16, and you'll see why in a moment. I'm then going to have this be at a y of 8 and an x of 8. Okay? So it'll be in the center right there. We don't need to resize the canvas. We need grid settings to be, we'll go with a horizontal size of 16 and a vertical size of 8. Okay. Now, because the origin is roughly, well, right there, if the sword is, say, this, then that means that it can then rotate this way or this way. And that's how we'll determine where it's supposed to be. So, well, that's how we'll determine its swing with that sort of thing. So let's make a real simple sword. Do I want to do it like that, though? No, hold on. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. That's fine. We got our simple sword. So we have SPR sword. Let's create melee for melee weapons. Come on, get in there. Create group melee for melee projectiles, or melee projectiles. That made a lot of sense. Okay. So let's do this. We're gonna simply create it, and so it'll appear in the correct spot. Instance create, SCR player center X, SCR player center Y, OBJ. We're gonna rename it that real quick. Sword, melee sword. Melee sword. So it will not have any sort of movement or anything. It'll just appear at roughly the correct spot. There we go. Pretty useful, right? Now let's make it so that they appear facing the correct direction. Add event, create. Angle, or was it direction, or was it sprite rotation, image rotation, or image direction, image, come on, what was it? Image angle equals obj test figure dot player aim direction. Okay, so now they'll face the correct direction. Creating one, creating another. Look at that. Okay. Obviously, swords are supposed to swing. So let's then say that's gonna be minus 45, so it'll be a 90-degree swing. Let's do, so midge angle, no, not plus plus. Plus equals, we'll just go with 10 for now, so 9-step swing. Obviously, it's not going to kill itself after that many, but let's watch it. Kind of reminds me of a move in or a spell in D&D, Cloud of Daggers. Anyhow. I think we'd actually want that at 35. And then let's also do alarm set 0, so the 0th alarm, count to 9. Alarm 0, instance destroy. So it'll appear, it'll sweep across real quick, and then it'll vanish. Okay. You know what we could also do? So, there is something I have seen someone do where it was something that allowed them to use, well, would I even be able to do that? You know, I'm not going to worry about it. So, got that. Appears for only a moment. Let's make it so that, well, it only appears if there are none other. If instance number obj melee sword equals 0, then this happens. Okay. Let's also get this to follow the player. Equals scr bbox center obj test figure dot x. No, it's just obj test figure, isn't it? And then x y equals scr bbox center obj test figure y. There we go. So for now, we're not making the player stop moving. Okay. And now we need its collision. So we're going to start with enemy collision. If line, or if collision line. So this line will be from, we'll start with X and Y, and then we'll go to length dir X. The length will be, let's see, if we're going from the center of the player and out by 8 and then out by 16, that would be 24. So let's say 24 for now. Length of 24, direction of image, angle. Then we need x plus and y plus for this. Now we're looking for obj parent enemy, precise, false, not me, true, because we're not looking for ourselves. Okay. Then we'll do, oh, we should actually do this. Var enemy hit AD equals collision line. There we go, that's what we want. And then if enemy, no wait, we don't even need that. If enemy hit ID does not equal no one, then enemy hit ID dot HP is minus equals, we'll go with 20. Alright, let's give this a test. Okay. I don't know why I didn't expect that, but it should have been what I was expecting. So what we got here is the enemy taking a hit from the same attack multiple times. Now, that's not what we want at all. Instead, what we want is for it to hit, and then for it to not register another hit for that enemy, as in we want it to be able to hit multiple enemies at once. So let's see what we can do for that. See what our collision options are real quick. So the problem with this is that, here, let me just read you the description. Collision line checks along a line from point x1y1 to point x2y2 for collision with any instance of the object specified by the argument obj. This check can be either precise or not. But for precise collisions to be enabled, the object or instance that you are checking for must also have precise collisions enabled for their sprite. If not, the default check is based on bounding boxes. The following image illustrates how this works. So let's see, these blue ones are just going by bounding boxes or hitboxes. These ones are doing it by preciseness. So remember, for precise collisions to be considered, both the object sprite and the collision function must have precise marked as on. So it should also be noted that the return value of the function can be the ID of any one of the instances considered to be in collision along the line. So if 3 instances overlap the defined line, any one of their IDs could be the return value of the function. So that's not really what we want, is it? We want to be able to hit an enemy, check if the enemy is hurt, or check if the enemy's already been hit by that particular swing, and then ignore it if it has been. So here's what we'll do. We are going to create a list with all enemies that have been hit by that particular swing, and if an enemy is still being hit by it, then they are ignored and they're not hurt. Otherwise, we hurt them. And hopefully, if multiple enemies are caught in the swing, multiple enemies can get hit by it. So we're not doing this quite yet. So instead what we need to do is we need to see if there is here's what we'll do. So we have that array, but it's not an array yet. If is array enemy hit array so if it's not an array currently, then we're going to do this. Enemy hit array n or 0 equals enemy hit ID. Okay? Else, aka if it is an array, then we now need to check through the whole array and see if the enemy that we're currently hitting is within that array. So let's get so we're doing this. There, enemy hit array length equals array length 1D, enemy hit array. Okay. Now we just need a for loop. Okay, so for n equals 0, while n is less than var enemy hit array length n plus plus. Just taking a sip of my drink. Okay. Now what we need to do is well, check the array. So if enemy hit array n equals enemy hit ID, then new enemy equals false. And we can break the for loop. Okay? Else new enemy equals true. So you might be thinking, well, if there's multiple to check, then that means the new enemy equals true will false flag one. We're going to be checking it against the others anyway, so it just makes sure that no matter the length, this works. Okay. So, if new enemy equals true, then oh wait. Yeah. And this happens. Enemy hit array var enemy hit array length equals enemy hit ID and enemy hit ID dot HP is down 20. So hopefully that works. Let's find out. Okay. Targeting this guy. Bam! Missed. Bam! Oh! Not set before reading. Okay. So, line 26. Okay. And then we'll say new enemy equals true. Just to be safe. Okay, let's try again. Ha ha ha. Oh. What did I not set this time? Enemy hit array. Enemy hit array length. What? Line 29. Oh, here, then we can do that. Enemy hit array length equals 0. Okay. Still not set? Well, it's line 30 now, but really? Enemy hit array length. Okay. I got that variable named wrong, which is why it didn't work. Bam! God, that's barely readable. Okay. Cool. Let's make you -2, just so we can actually see you for one. And then, here, let's clear up some of the drawn clutter. Okay. And then, let's get rid of that real quick. Okay. Cool. So it seems like it's working as it should. However, we have yet to test hitting multiple enemies at once. Let's do that, just to see what happens. That's totally readable. Seems like multiple are being hit at once. It's also difficult to tell. You know what we could do for now? Rather than do this, let's do var color lerp equals lerp 0, 100 HP. So we're lerping from 0 to 100 using HP. Let me check something. Color RGB goes from 0 to 255. Okay. Okay, so var color equals var color lerp divided by 100. So that would bring it, if it was at full, then it would bring it down to 1. If it's at 0, then it would bring it down to 0. If it's at 50, it would bring it down to 0.5. Then we're going to times that by 255. Okay. Draw set color. Well, we're also going to do that again. Set color C white. And we're going to make color RGB. Red is going to be 255 no matter what. The others are going to be var color. So it'll slowly turn red as it gets hurt. Oh, there we go. Rather than draw self, we're going to do draw sprite. Can we do color? Or ext? That actually might work a bit better. Let's see, sprite index, and I think that's what we want. This is the index of the current sprite for the instance. Image index, so that's the current subimage, right? X, Y, 1, 1, 0 rotation. Color, make, here I can just copy this over. One for the alpha. We don't need that. And we don't need that. Okay. So they'll just slowly turn red, and then once they're fully red, they'll be dead and they'll vanish, right? Well, I don't think that's what we wanted. I'm curious what I did wrong there. So, oh, I'm dumb. We want 0 to 255 HP divided by 100. There we go. Okay. This should be correct. Look at that. So I should hit all three? Really? Aiming top right. Oh, I'm just flat out not hitting him. Let's restart real quick. So trying to look top right. Huh. What time is it? It's 4:10. Okay. Surprised I still haven't gotten that call yet. Should probably just call her myself. Anyhow. It seems like it's mostly working, but it doesn't really mean I'm super happy with it. I think I'm going to look more into exact collisions. They're not normally what I'd think I'd want, but precise collision checking might be what I need. So let's see here. Okay. This precise. This can be either true or false and relates to the precision of the collision checking. If set to true, the precise collisions are to be calculated, but only if the object being checked for has precise marks marked for its collision detection and its mask properties, which is slightly more complex task for the CPU, so should be used with caution. Okay. Let's give this a try instead. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to resize the canvas. Push that right. I'm going to make them, what is it, 16 plus 16 is 32, plus 16 is 48. There we go. Let's make you 8, no, 16. There we go. So I'm going to copy you, paste, well, animation. Let's do, there's a rotate, right? We're going to do counterclockwise. We're going to do 4. Okay, that looks like how I'd hope it would look. Let's try counterclockwise instead. If we were to do 8, let's see what will happen. Well, it blurs it out a bit, but it's fine. What if it was 16 instead? All right. We don't want to smooth the edges. What if we did? Cancel. I think there's a way to sharpen them. Well, that looks lovely, doesn't it? Oh well. Let's go with this for now. So, in case you haven't figured out, those are all the different rotations possible, or all the different angles that we are probably going to need. Let's center this. Actually, we could do 16 by 16. Then we can make it stay on the player like this. No, we need just obj test figure.x and obj test figure.y. Okay. So rather than having the image angle be that, we're going to have it be called sword angle. Okay? Now, sword angle. We're not going to do collision line. Instead, we're going to do place meeting. No, we don't want place meeting. Oh, hold on. Did I forget to do this? Let's do modify mask, precise, separate collision masks. Okay. This might not be the option that we want. Let me look at this again. So place meeting goes by the box. Position meeting goes by literally a single point. We could do any of these, but we don't want to do any of those. But only one of them is using a precise collision mask, meaning it looks like we're gonna have to do collision rectangle. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're going to go through every single enemy, and we're gonna check if they are collidable. Or, yeah. So, n equals 0, while n is less than instance number obj parent enemy then n plus plus. We want a semicolon, not a colon, or not a comma. Okay, so we then do collision rectangle. We're doing x1 being instance find obj parent enemy n. Okay, dot b box left. Well, we don't need to do that over and over again. We can do var enemy test ID, or just enemy ID equals instance find obj parent enemy n. Okay, so collision rectangle var enemy id.x, var enemy id.y, var, no, we want b box top. We want b box left. So var enemy id dot bbox right var enemy id dot bbox bottom. Okay, obj that we're searching for is id, so we're looking for ourself, aka the sort is looking for itself. Precise, true, not me equals false, because we are looking for ourselves. So, if this equals id, then we are hitting it. And var enemy id dot hp minus equals 20. So, as we already went over earlier, we're going to be hitting it, we're going to be doing this collision multiple times in a single swing. So for now, let's just see if this is working. We already know that we're going to be hurting the enemies much more than we intend on. And you know what? Let me pull this guy over here real quick. There we go. Oh-ho! What? So, in step 2, we want sword angle, not just sword. Well, that explains it. Sword angle. And then, we got one problem. What was it? 16 sub-images. So we're dividing it by 20, I think. Should be correct. Here. Well, it's always starting in the wrong spot, but you know. What if we round this? Sorry for the quietness once again. We're still starting way over there, but why? Okay, well, what if we did this here as well? Wouldn't think that would be necessary in the create event, but really, going that much over. Getting a little bit confused here. Let's just try hitting one of these guys. Why though? This should be correct, shouldn't it? There are 16 subimages. If there were 32, then we'd divide it by 10 instead. What if the image index is in the negatives? Or will it even tell us? I don't know if sword angle is less than 0, then sword angle plus equals 360. I mean, it's not saying that it can't be in the negatives, but let's see what we get, because right now this feels pretty off. Yeah, see, it should go down to here and then this is like weirdly annoying. Like if I'm facing straight up, the sword should move at more of an angle than that. What if I did this? make it correct. That looks a bit better, actually. Still not totally right, but, you know. You know what? Here's what I'll do. I will try rounding this once more. And then after this test, I'm gonna be done because I need to start getting ready for work. That feels alright, actually. Not perfect, but better. Okay. Alright. So, guess we got something done. In that case, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.